Do you remember that Far Side cartoon where the person is trying to enter the school for the gifted but can't get in? Do you remember why? Not SAT scores or lack of prerequisites, but because the door says push and the person is pulling with all their might and can't get it to budge. We think it's funny because we probably identify it, right? We can be smart and dumb, right and wrong at the same time. We take vitamins and eat junk food. We invest in relationships that are important to us, simultaneously sometimes sabotaging those relationships. We set goals for the future and waste the present. We speak the truth and deny the truth. Smart and dumb, right and wrong, kind of like last week's on one hand, on the other hand. James gets at this in a few ways in today's reading. James mentions different wisdom. Earthly wisdom that may seem to get us ahead or get us what we want sometimes, when we're motivated by selfishness or jealousy or cravings, as he put it. Then there's wisdom from above, as James says, that's peaceful, gentle, good, genuine, just, recognizing that everything is God's. And again, paradoxically, we can know both at the same time. Believing everything belongs to God while also seeking more for myself. Wanting to pursue justice for all people, but not wanting to give up my privilege. James poses a question. Are any of you wise and understanding? And he seems to know that the answer for many of us is sometimes. James also knows that a life firmly on a path of wisdom and faith will lead to more satisfaction than going back and forth, indulging both true wisdom and our base emotions and cravings. And James tries to move us forward on this path with some straightforward words. James links wisdom to peacemaking. Verse 17 lists several characteristics of wisdom, but the only one he picks up on and repeats again, twice in fact, is peace. Those who make peace sow the seeds of justice by their peaceful acts, he writes. It's a peaceful cycle. Make peace by peaceful acts. Peaceful acts cultivate justice. Justice builds peace. It's sometimes noted that justice leads to peace, or that no justice leads to no peace, but it's a circle that goes both ways. Peaceful ways lead to justice. James shifts into an analysis of discord and conflict and finds that such things come from competing desires or priorities. And James recognizes we have competing desires and priorities even within ourselves. Like I noted earlier at the beginning of my comments, we want the fitness and the junk food, or at least I do. We also compete with others due to jealousy or pride or selfish cravings. James never says we shouldn't have passions and convictions and commitments, but that wisdom should order our desires and priorities and keep us close to gentleness and peace. Now, if James doesn't always seem gentle in his use of words, his goal is to bring us to a more peaceful and gentle life together and in ourselves. And sometimes the truth about ourselves feels like an attack when it's really just an invitation to a better way, to a life and community of wisdom and peace. I don't know what you think of when you think of wisdom and peace. Maybe like a guru who's in meditation or something. But wisdom is not boring. Wisdom should lead us to be ourselves, complete with our passions and priorities, even for something as big and bold as justice. James, as we've noted, says neither justice nor peace happen by accident. So wisdom better not be passive and boring. We've got to make peace. Sow seeds of justice. Engage in peaceful acts. If the arc of the universe bends towards justice, it's because someone is doing the work to make that happen. God is doing the work to make it happen and calls us to be part of it. And James knows we cannot do this work well if we're not at peace with one another and with ourselves, as well as with God. What we do in church every week is training for the Christian life. In other areas of life, we practice and train sports, music, even driver's ed, professions, relationship seminars, self-help, therapy. And here, this place, this gathering is what we do each week. These are our training for the Christian life. Here at Houghton, every week, we go out proclaiming shalom over one another and send each other out to live in shalom. As a reminder, shalom is a Hebrew word, a biblical word, describing comprehensive peace, harmony, wholeness, welfare, all that God intends for our world. It includes positive, healthy relationships, relationship with God, peace among nations and people groups, a just society where all can thrive, as well as peaceful interpersonal relationships. And it also means peace in ourselves, inner peace, if you will, but not the boring kind that sits in meditation. Not that that's bad, by the way. If you need that sitting in meditation to cultivate that inner peace, great. Shalom is wholeness and integration for individuals, where we can always be ourselves and without second guessing, without self-hate, where we know who we are and how to live it. Our verses today use the word genuine. Shalom means we're solid emotionally, mentally, relationally. Psalms even describes those experiencing shalom as sleeping well. Sounds pretty good, huh? So when we sing shalom to one another, we also claim it for ourselves, receive it as a blessing and a commission. We will do our part to cultivate shalom in and for ourselves as well as in community. James knows this is important. If we vacillate between the wisdom of the world and the wisdom of God, if we're moved by cravings and competing desires, if we're double-minded in our own existence, it will be difficult to live out peace and justice on larger levels. This peace of Christ is not just a flippant, sure, everything's fine, because it's easier than engaging and creating real peace. This peace is not glossing over the challenges. The friction might still be there. The one didn't move the other, right? In the illustration, in the moment for all ages. But if we just insert some kindness, so it's not pretending like we don't disagree. We can be ourselves in peace. The passing of the peace, receiving and offering the peace of Christ, is as risky and demanding a piece of liturgy as any in our weekly practices. It is indeed a challenge to accept the blessing of shalom, to be introspective and prayerful and open to what trusted others reflect back to us, and to see where we need to work on competing wisdom or competing desires, jealousy, unfaithfulness. Where, how, and with whom do we need to cultivate gentleness, mercy, peace? All these are part of the call of shalom. It's a process, friends. This is supposed to be an encouraging challenge that the work is worth it. It's not supposed to be discouraging when we see how far we may be from a life of shalom, just motivated to take steps of peace. Toward the end of today's reading, James indicates that the point of all this is to draw near to God. People more proficient in the original Greek of the New Testament inform me that this is not a conditional statement, not a dependent if-then, that if we draw near to God, then God will draw near to us. Rather, the Greek sentence structure suggests that when we draw near to God, we'll find God has already drawn near to us. So we are not on our own. We remember that we are wonderfully made, already deeply loved by God, inviting us into shalom together. We've seen James's desire for us to live out our faith in practical ways. So what does actively making peace look like for you? Perhaps this week is very connected to last week about our words, how we speak and how we repeat things to ourselves. One thing that might be interesting to you, as it was to me, I Googled peace-building activities for kids this week. Spoiler, lotion on your hands was not one. For better or worse, that's what I came up with. I Googled peace-building activities for kids in preparation for this morning, and among the suggestions was something on learning to spot fake news. Now that's older kids, surely. How to verify things using reliable sources. Kind of an interesting connection to peace, huh? But we must remember that what is not true, even when it keeps getting repeated, if we want to be people of peace, we have to remember that it's not true. Falsehood and lies, especially about people, do not contribute to peace. So we are people who verify our sources, who speak truth, who speak even truth constructively towards peace. Finally, friends, yesterday was the International Day of Peace. We have a peace pole here. I think I'm pointing the right way, right? Kind of at the corner of our parking lot on the way to the Memorial Garden. We have a peace pole. Have you ever noticed it? It's got some different languages. It's got the word peace in different languages. I've been here a year and we've done nothing with it since I've been here. Perhaps we missed an opportunity this weekend, with yesterday being the International Day of Peace. If you have a vision for this, please come talk with me. I know of other churches with peace poles who rededicate the pole and themselves to peace annually, even invite the community. And they also may have a gathering quarterly at the peace pole. So, with or without the peace pole, friends, let us be people of peace, who make peace, who create space for peace in ourselves and constructively build peace in community. As we said in the Moment for All Ages, it's not always easy, And so, Jesus, help us. Amen.